Welcome back. It's that day of the week again when we explore and appreciate green ideas and inventions. This is Going Green. Now, did you know that the Philippines has the most diverse mangrove varieties in the world? The country has over 47 species of mangroves, with the largest concentrations and diversity in Panay, Negros, Mindoro, and Bohol. Mangroves play a crucial role in the ecology of the coastlines, but the country's mangroves are dwindling. So how exactly do you protect this important resource? Well, a group of med students are going to tell us how running can help save the mangroves 1 kilometer at a time. Joining us now in the studio are LaSalle professor Maricar Samson and Mark Austin Gawaran, event ahead of the environment. Good morning.
Green morning.
A green morning to you. All right, I love it. Okay, let's start really by talking about the mangroves. I mean, during the intro, we already set the scene by saying that the Philippines is actually, has such a diverse collection. Is that the correct word to use? We have such a diverse a number of species of mangroves.
Yeah. Well, Paulo, we have actually around 70 species of mangroves only.
Okay.
So we have, 44 to 47 species of them. So it's quite diverse for a tropical country.
Right. Now, a lot of people are actually already very savvy when it comes to these environmental concerns. But there might be a few people out there who may not know what a mangrove is. Can we just give them a bit of some of the broad strokes? What exactly are we talking about when we say mangroves?
Well, mangroves can refer to the forest itself, or it's very much like your land plants.
Right.
There are trees, shrubs. There's even a fern species, and nipa is a mangrove.
It's also kind of mangrove.
So that's very common to most of the Filipinos.
All right. Now we're going to be talking a little bit about this exciting run that Mark over here is going to be organizing. But I really want to talk about first the problem, setting the stage for the problem. The problem is the species, or rather the mangroves in general, are disappearing, and there's a very clear reason why.
Yeah, maybe just to set the background, in the 1920s, the estimate is around 450,000 hectares.
Okay.
But in 1998, it was down to 113,000 hectares, so around 75% was lost, and 68% of the loss is actually due to the conversion to fish ponds, salt ponds, and of course we exported a lot of charcoal to other countries because, as they say, using that for baking will make your bread very tasty.
Tasty. And well, I have to attest to this. Yung charcoal na gawa sa bakawan. This is what we call it. Bakawan, it does burn a lot hotter. But the problem is we've overused it. And there are really much cleaner ways to be producing heat. We know a lot better now, but the practice still continues, doesn't it?
Yes. Actually, small-scale cutting of mangroves still continues. And then, actually, the problem here in the Philippines is that most of the brackish water ponds that were converted are now abandoned or idle. So there's the opportunity of planting in those areas. But it will be politically challenging because most of those ponds have titles. So only a very small portion are controlled or under the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources. And actually, we became too excited in planting. And we planted the wrong species at the wrong site. So
how is that a wrong step?
It was a wrong step because people got excited and they planted on seagrass beds, which is also a very important habitat for your fish and other marine organisms. They planted on what we call mud flat areas, sandy, muddy flat areas where our migratory birds feed. So it's ecologically incorrect. But as we always say, walang masamang intention.
Well, we live and we learn, right? We're learning and we're getting to know.
We are actually very happy that, including their group, they did the research first before doing the reforestation, and that is very important to know the resource that you will manage.
Okay, just a quick question before we jump to the environment. The mangroves are important because it does what?
In the light of climate change, they are good for coastal protection.
Okay.
And for preventing coastal erosion with the increased amount of rainfall that we are having right now. Mangroves could protect the adjacent or the nearby habitats, your seagrass beds and your corals. And that is very important to be put into consideration when you're doing management. You cannot just protect the mangroves, forget about the seagrass, forget about the corals. You cannot protect the corals without protecting the two other habitats. If you lose one, the other two will follow.
Right, and it's a chain. It affects us all. Suddenly, the fish don't have anywhere to spawn. Suddenly, they don't have anywhere to live. Suddenly, the bigger fish don't have anything to eat. Suddenly, we don't have anything to eat. Suddenly, we don't have anything to eat. Suddenly, the economy drops, and you know, it's a chain. It's a chain, and it really starts from very basic things. Now, Mark's group over here has decided to do something about it. Tell us a little bit about what you guys are doing to address this problem.
So, well, we're actually organizing a run this Sunday. It's called Environment 2011. It's Environment 2011, and it's the beneficiary is for the mangrove forest restoration. So, well, we're from UP College of Medicine. A group of medical students are called Medical Students for Social Responsibility, and really, yes. And then we're thinking for the past year to think about marine environment. So we're
that's sort of a off tangent to medicine, really.
But because medicine is also public health, and public health is also about the environment.
Right. Again, it's all
interconnected.
It's all interconnected.
Exactly. So we're thinking that maybe in addressing the mangrove forest, actually yung nag-set sa amin is because of the tsunamis, and we thought that the mangrove forests are a good shield, a protective shield for against tsunamis. And for us medical students, it's the least thing that we can do. So maybe we contacted Professor Samson and thought about this run for the mangrove forest.
Okay, well, how exactly are you going to monetize the run? How exactly are you going to make a contribution? How does the money go towards the mangroves?
So we selected a community in San Juan, Batangas, and this run, for those who are going to register in this run this Sunday, like 350 pesos for 1.5K, 400 for the 3 kilometers, and 5 kilometers for 50. So the money that we're going to get from it, we're going to build a small nursery. We were discussing it a while ago. We're going to build a small nursery for the mangrove for mangroves, and then educate the community on how to sustain this project and teach them how to actually plant the mangroves in the right places and the right way.
Okay, that's very cool. All right, now for people who are interested to take part in the run, it's already this Sunday.
Yes,
Can they still register? Is there on-site registration?
Yes, so they can check our website. It's http://environment2011, and the online registration is until tomorrow. But we'll have on-site registration. It will start on 4:30 in the morning at the CCP grounds. It's the place between the Folk Arts Theater and the Harbor Square. So the basketball.
What sort of a route do you guys have in terms of the run?
So we'll just passing by through the Folk Arts Theater and back to the Sofitel and go back to the Alio Theater there and go back to
back again. Okay, I mean, there's so many runs nowadays. I mean, almost every weekend there's a run. It's nice that there's a run that actually benefits a cause that is that I also agree with actually. Once the money is collected, you talked about building a nursery. What specific areas are going to be targeted in terms of the mangrove reforestation?
I think their group is targeting San Juan, Batangas.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So, because what I told their group is that mangrove reforestation doesn't stop in planting itself. Actually, there are a lot of things that organizations can do. Yeah, supporting a nursery is one. Cleaning the mangrove area is one, because one of the causes now of its degradation is that it's being suffocated by garbage. Kasi it's a natural barrier buffer. It's a natural waste.
So it does what it does best. It really catches all. It really catches.
That's why it's very hard to bring the students there, because in LaSalle we try to as much as grade 2, 3, 4 to bring them to the mangrove area. But when they see the garbage,
it becomes a bit of a challenge. It becomes a bit of a challenge. Now, I know a lot of, we touched on it earlier, the mangroves have become more and more depleted because it unfortunately is makes an excellent charcoal. It's also used in building, in some furniture. What are some of the alternative things that we can offer in terms of educating people to leave the mangroves alone? What direction can we point them to, and how can we change those small economies that rely on the mangroves for their daily bread?
Maybe if only our government and the communities will realize that it's around $10,000 to $36,000 per hectare per year. That's what they can get if they protect their mangrove areas. And in the climate change, it can save lives, save properties. I don't think there's a need anymore to go there and teach them or tell them that this is the one, but just show them the pictures of tsunami in Indonesia. An island there was saved because it's lined by mangroves.
Really? Okay.
So, and in some of our areas in the Philippines, their coasts are protected because there are mangroves. It's not only tsunami, but storm surges, which we have in most of the areas in the Philippines. So, I think the best message will be forget about convenience of planting.
Okay.
The objective of planting shouldn't stop with increasing its area, but really bringing back what was lost. The natural mangrove areas, the historical mangrove areas, you bring it back to really enjoy the different goods and services that mangroves. And for ecotourism, they can go to Bani, Pangasinan, and there's one in Calatagan, Batangas. There's a walkway. They can enjoy the sounds of the birds, and the different. Well, crocodiles are not a very good
offshoot of that.
Yeah,
but again, they're part of the system.
They're part of the system. Monkeys in Palawan.
Okay.
So we're also thinking about helping the local communities. So aside from the educating them, we're also we're discussing about maybe the local communities can also get some profit from mangrove forests.
Right.
Yes.
Like alternative ways. I mean, like we keep saying, many of them make charcoal and make furniture or such. Ecotourism is certainly something that they can be turning to.
Yes. And also, they can actually sell the propagules, the seedlings that they will rear in the nursery.
For people who want to come and plant.
And I hope it's a lot cheaper than the prevailing prices. Yes, but if they will have their own nursery, then they cut the price by 50% of the mangrove.
Well, certainly the projects like Mark's over here will certainly help. Now, do you get a T-shirt when you
I have a singlet. Yes, if they register, I have a singlet.
Look at that.
Yeah, this is the front.
Hey, that's a nice singlet right over there.
So So actually, when we're in the Facebook, we also we told them that only the first 200 registrants, but with the, many people registering, so we also going to give it away for everybody
else as well. All right, well, definitely just make sure you invite everybody again. It's going to be this Sunday, environment, a run that will benefit the mangrove forests. You can still register until tomorrow. There's going to be on-site registration on the day itself. We want to say thank you so much to Professor over here and Mark for really helping us understand what this problem that we have is, and some of the solutions that we have, and some of the ways that we can help.
Yes.
Thanks so much for joining us this morning. All right, guys, do you have the next great green idea, or do you have any out-of-this-world plan to save the planet? Let us know. Tell us what you're doing to help save the environment. Send in your pictures and thoughts to ancgoinggreen@gmail.com and get a chance to be featured right here, where we are going green.